Welcome to the Running with James podcast. We are committed to helping runners, OCR athletes, and the everyday person get involved, get connected, and get committed to becoming the best versions of themselves. Remember, when you change your mind, you change your life. Now here's your host, James Wyatt.
And welcome back to the Running with James podcast, where we like to lace it up, level up, and leave all of those excuses behind. No matter what we've been doing, no matter how tired we are, no matter what obstacles come against us, we are here to help you change your mind so that you can change your life. So today we're diving into a topic that doesn't always get the spotlight I believe that it deserves, but it just might be the secret weapon, the secret sauce, as it were. Do you remember back in the day with McDonald's when like that's how they sold the Big Mac was like, it was like you're getting the secret sauce. You remember that?
Yeah,
I don't know why that just came to my mind.
It wasn't debunked. It's just like Thousand Island and mayo.
Everybody knew it was always Thousand Island dressing.
The secret sauce.
But it was when you said secret sauce, it automatically, I always just got the Big Mac.
Yeah.
2 patties on a sesame seed bun with, what's it called? Secret sauce. And I was like, well, I want to be part of the secret, you know? And then when I started learning about Victoria's Secret, then it even made it even more enticing because when I got those books at the house, you know what I'm saying?
We have gone down a tangent.
I know secrets are good. I don't know what made me think of that just now.
Still a secret.
Oh my gosh.
All that means to stay.
Every man knows what I'm talking about. Every man that was a teenage boy knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Not the JCPenney catalog?
I mean, JCPenney catalog, I don't remember getting that. I remember getting the Sears catalog. And that was pretty legit because it was usually pretty thick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And so they had a huge section of unmentionables. I was going to say non-mentionables.
Tough times back then.
It was tough times. Very tough times. But there was nothing like VS.
I feel really great to be part of this conversation.
Yeah. No, it's good times. Good times. So, Carlos, how you doing?
I'm doing amazing.
He's back in the house again.
Back at it.
Coach Carlos back in the house again. And we also have Coach Lauren as the per usual.
Well, not per usual. I wasn't here last week.
Yeah,
I was the week before. Wait, when was I not here?
Are you freaking kidding me, dude?
When was I sick? Wait, what day is it?
This freaking chick. You were in the building last week. I don't know how, here you were, because I actually had somebody say, is Lauren okay? Because she didn't really say too much. I was like, she was just overwhelmed with all the testosterone in the room. No, we did. We were all here.
When did Atlanta happen? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can't remember.
That's right.
Guys, it's been a real week for me. I'm real exhausted.
Yeah? Why are you so exhausted, Lauren?
I've been working a conference all week. So I've been shaking hands, saying hi, talking hydraulics with people.
You got a lot of hydraulic knowledge?
I can tell you a very specific script about hydraulics, and if you ask me anything off, I am lost.
Gotcha.
It can't go off script.
Yeah. So what do you do when that happens?
I say, you know what? That is a great question. I would love to introduce you to one of our engineers. Let me go grab him for you.
Oh, okay. See, you just throw it off on an engineer. That was perfect. Good job.
Engineers are there for.
I agree.
Nice.
I believe that. Well, it's good that you made it today. Is it over?
It's over. Today was the last day. It was a half day. It was a very chill day for the most part. Everyone's tearing down and giving away all their free stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fun times. Did you do a lot of conferences back in the day?
No, not really. No.
I was never a big conference guy. I always felt like it was a waste of my time.
No.
I always felt like I was there and people just came to my booth to get free stuff. That was the only reason they came. Or to get me to take them to dinner.
Yes.
It's all very different now. I've been doing this particular conference for at least 10 years. And in 10 years, it is really, really changed. I mean, the industry's changed a lot, but it's just way less now. It's less parties like there used to be. Everything was a big party. You walked in and it was very glamorous. It was very free stuff, beer, sushi, everywhere. Honestly, a ton of money. And now it's very just cut and
Everyone's
dry.
on a budget now.
Everyone's on a major budget. It felt like a third of the show wasn't actually there. And there was not as many people in from out of the country as you'd normally see. So, but it's still fun to meet people from all over.
Sure.
I had some invitations out to Sweden. I had an invitation out for Germany, and I said, if you want to pay my flight, I'll hop on a plane tomorrow.
Yep.
Have passport.
Now,
we'll
were these
travel.
like invitations to come work like another show or something, or are these like invitations to come like be a house
Both.
bunny or something, or
Not
what?
a bunny, but both. I did get asked if I would be willing to work a show in Germany for the same company.
Very nice.
Yeah, I know. I said, have passport. We'll travel tomorrow. And the other one.
Yeah, we don't need to worry about that job you got. It's no big deal. Keep going.
He'll hear the podcast.
Yeah.
It's Germany, James. That's
Okay.
Germany.
Okay.
And then the other one was one of the guys said if I ever wanted to come out to Sweden, he would, I guess, give me some tips and tricks and whatnot for Sweden. I don't know. He's married with a family. He was being very sweet. I think. He was being very sweet.
I bet he was.
He's married.
I'm sure. Yeah, because that means a lot to these dudes traveling all the time. Yeah, that's why most marriages last. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Well, glad you had a good time and you got your invitations.
I did.
Do
I
any
did.
of them own yachts by the chance?
I never asked. No,
that was
probably not.
her dream.
That's her dream.
Yep.
No, I don't like yachts. I don't like boats. I don't know why y'all think I'm like want to be on a boat. I don't really care
Well,
for boats.
it's not just the fact of being on a boat. It's the fact of being on a boat for a year as a captive by a billionaire. I
He
think
was
that's
also
the
a
dream.
mafia leader.
Oh, I forgot. He needs to be in the mafia as
He needs to be a
well.
little bit of a bad boy.
I get it.
He's probably not going to be an engineer.
For those that do not know, we're referring to the Netflix show.
Yeah,
I can't remember
that
the name
she
of
can't
it.
get enough of, apparently.
I've only watched it 3 times.
I was going to say the
Twice.
scandalous
2
show.
times.
Yeah, okay. She's like, there's 3 parts, and I've only watched all 3 of them 3 times. That would be 9
There's
times.
2 times. There's 2 parts.
Oh, see, she knows the details. So
How dare you talk about the
I
trilogy
know,
like that?
I know the trilogy. Oh my gosh. Well, sometimes you got to get off the beaten path, if you're going to find that dream.
True love.
You know what I'm saying? If you're going to find it, you're going to have to be willing to make those sacrifices, get off the beaten path and get out in the wilderness.
Yep.
Right?
Find true love, true lust, whatever.
Yeah.
suits
Okay.
your fancy.
Okay. We don't want that.
Okay, you were just talking about Victoria's Secret and a Sears catalog.
I'm talking about an adolescent boy that is learning new things and he sees a half-naked lady he gets excited about. That's completely different.
Yours is way creepier.
Cycle of
How
life.
is that creepier?
I'm an adult woman.
Anyway, guys,
That's
today
up for debate.
I'm not, like I said, today, guys,
I'll
we
take out your
are
kneecaps.
definitely going to get off the beaten path. And I don't mean the kind of beaten path that Lauren is talking about. I'm talking about the pavement. I'm talking about, it's summertime, right? So usually during the summertime, what do we do, guys?
Hit the trails.
We hit the trails, right? We try to mix it up a little bit. It's the end of the race season. And no matter what we're doing, oftentimes I feel like it's almost like the summer doesn't feel like a break. It just feels like, kind of like we talked about a couple weeks ago, it's a great time to build new fitness, great time to build new foundations, things of that nature. And so I really do enjoy getting out there and exploring kind of the non-paved roads when it comes to running. And then, as well, I mean, this is kind of like OCR season as well. So there's a lot of obstacle course races and stuff going on. So that's always a good opportunity. So I think the trail racing or trail running, I saw a video the other day, and it was like when a runner goes off the trail for the first time, and then it was like a guy was running, and he's like, "Come on, let's go!" And then they were looking at the dirt and looking at the concrete and looking at the dirt and looking at the concrete, and it was like this big existential dilemma: like, should I try it? Should I go for it? And then they stepped on the dirt, and immediately, like, their whole outfit changed. Right? They had like a vest on, they had like their cap flipped up, they had like the sunglasses, they had the trail shoes on, and their legs were all dirty, and they were like, "What have I been missing my whole life?" So I thought it was pretty funny because that's exactly what it looks like and what ends up happening.
Yeah, you can definitely, at the end of the run, tell the difference who ran on the trails and who did the road.
Oh, yeah. Right. So I think sometimes, mentioning, I was going to say, as the transition turned into a tangent, that I think sometimes the trail running can be like a secret sauce to like new fitness. A lot of times because mainly it can be much harder to run on the trails. It's more like you build more strength because of the up and down, the undulation, the roots, the trees, the turns. And so, you can develop a lot of stability. You can develop a lot of ankle strength, hip strength, knee strength, things like that. So I think it can be a good way to kind of start building new foundations for, whatever else you're going to be doing that may have to do with running.
Oh, absolutely. You can tell after a 5-mile run on the road versus a 5-mile run on the trail. You can feel it on the body.
Yeah.
It's obviously the pace is probably gonna be slower,
Yeah.
and then the wear and tear on that lower body.
You remember a couple weeks ago, maybe about a month or so ago, we were going to go, we met up for a run. Maybe you weren't there. I think you were there. And we were going to like do like 10-mile run. I was like, hey, why don't we do it on the trails today? And we all went on the trails, and we were all like, after we were done, we're like, oh my God.
No, I remember you telling me about it. I wasn't there though. But you said it felt a lot harder than the
It did. It felt like we ran like a
Saturday
15-mile run. Like it was so long. It took forever. We were out there for like 2.5 hours or something like that. And we did not come prepared. We didn't have enough water and enough fuel and everything. We were out there for like a 10-mile like asphalt run. And it ended up being like a 2.5-mile or 2.5-hour, trail extravaganza. So, but I mean, I think it's really good. I really do, because I think it definitely improves your stabilizer muscles. It definitely improves like your agility, your proprioception, your body awareness. So every step on uneven ground oftentimes demands more from your legs, ankles, and your core. So it can really help you be more aware and develop a lot of new strengths that, you just can't get when you're on the regular roads.
I'd read that, the way your foot lands on the trail, it's, uneven ground. So you're pushing off your foot, not just the regular on the pavement, just from the certain, mid-foot strike. And your foot's hitting different angles, working different strengths in the foot. So it really kind of helps prevent that, plantar, was it fasciitis, on the foot. Just kind of strengthen the overall foot.
Your plantar fascia, yeah.
Yeah, just versus just hitting it on the same spot on the road.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's something to be said for like training for HYROX, right? So trail work helps build leg endurance. And obviously if we're running it slower, it's building aerobic capacity. So, and like we just said, a 10-mile run is going to take longer on the trail than it does on the road. So, when you're paired with that gym work, then, it's like doing hill repeats, right? Without the sled, right? Or, or it can help you with the sled because you're developing that posterior chain, right? So, like doing plyos or something like that, with the terrain adaptability. So trail running is, a great way to kind of stay focused, to kind of mix it up a little bit, and then build some new fitness in ways that maybe you didn't think you could get in other ways, right? So that's kind of that cross training we always talk about, right? It's that different stimulus that you may not get in your regular everyday training because it's, like I said, off the beaten path.
Can almost be like a little boost to the fitness.
Yeah.
Just like a little, like you said, an added something, something different outside the box, what you've been doing, then just be that extra little boost to kind of take you to that next level.
Yeah. So, trail runners usually do really well in things like obstacle course training as well, because obstacle course races are usually where?
Outside,
right? They're on the trails. You're going to have all kinds. And a lot of times I feel like, especially Spartan, they like to use the terrain as an obstacle, right? Yeah. They'll say, okay, hey, we're going to have 25 obstacles. And like, there's actually only 10 obstacles, and they count like the other 15 are like hills.
Yeah. Like going into like a ditch, going back up the ditch.
Right, running through a riverbed. They count those as obstacles. I feel that way anyway. So it can, if you're going to be racing on the obstacles, we've had in our OCR class on Friday nights, we've had, several new people coming in because
OCR season is kicked up.
Yep. And then the Austin Super, I think, is coming up in a few weeks. And so obviously, people are like, it's 3 or 4 weeks away. And so they're like, I got to learn how to do obstacles
now,
and so, I'm trying to encourage them. Hey, are you guys run as much as you can? Because that's honestly the hard part of the obstacles. Yes, the obstacles can be challenging. You got to have good body awareness, but I think those are like the easy things to learn, right? Build a little strength, learn how to be efficient with your body, learn the movements, touch some obstacles, which, is easy to do if you come to come to our obstacle course. But like learning how to run on the trails and like build that aerobic capacity and that strength, you can only do it by going out and running, right? A few days a week.
And it's kind of like HYROX. Like when you do each station, you're only doing one station for a very specific amount of time, and you're only on an obstacle for a hopefully short period of time, but you're running the trails for anywhere from, I don't know, let's say on average 45 minutes to like an hour and a half, depending on the individual.
Sure.
So yeah, you definitely want to make sure that's a strong point for you, or at least a point where you can maintain it without suffering.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's just like HYROX is that people obviously not obviously.
They tend to focus on the fun obstacles.
Well, no, I was going to say they oftentimes. How do I get obviously from oftentimes?
No idea.
They both start with an O. That's about it.
That's it.
Freaking moron.
Oftentimes, welcome to age.
People focus on the strength stuff more so than the running. But the running is the biggest part of it.
Well, the strength stuff, again, we always say it's the sexy thing.
Yeah, it seems like it is.
Although I think the trail running is like that's the fun
I don't know.
part.
I was running this morning and I ran by a like a piece of glass or whatever,
Oh.
and I caught my reflection. I was like,
Did you catcall yourself?
Pretty chiseled.
I was like, all right now, bro, all right now, better watch out. So, so I mean, I didn't video it obviously because I don't want to be putting that out there in them streets.
No.
It's only for Leah. So, but yeah, I mean, I think running can be pretty sexy.
I'm going to go put a mirror somewhere out on the trails so whenever James or anyone runs by, they feel good about it.
You know, I asked somebody the other day. We were working out Tuesday, actually. I think you were here when I was asking them.
Okay.
And I was like, do you ever just like walk by a mirror and be like, dang? And they were like, no, I try to avoid mirrors at all costs. And I was like, really? I was like, come on, be honest. Just maybe you get right after a workout.
Yeah,
you go
so
into the
you
into the
out.
bathroom, right? You about to jump in the shower, and you just kind of catch a glimpse. You got that because I know you get the glisten all the time.
No, absolutely.
You got that like baby oil glisten pretty much 24/7.
Yeah.
I mean, because you use baby oil or do you use cocoa butter oil? What do you use?
A mixture of both.
Okay.
They, about 60-40 split.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say
together.
tears of your enemies.
Yeah. So, and then with that beautiful cocoa butter skin, you put those two together, you just glisten, right? So when you hit that light and you hit the mirror perfectly, it's just hard for me to imagine that half these.
You can't throw the double. You got to throw the double deuce.
You got to give them a little, or maybe put that flex on the side, like the little that striation on the side.
Did the person finally admit that they did it?
She did.
Yeah, that's
They admitted, and it might have been when you were like filming them, like flexing their biceps at maximum effort, and they were like, "Okay, yeah, I do. It's true." It's like maybe just once every 3 minutes.
Is this the same person who wants mirrors really badly in the building?
No.
Oh, okay,
No,
different person.
there's no doubt in my mind that person catches a glimpse of themselves in the mirror, and they're like, "Yeah, that's right." Multiple, and then gets the camera out because we have to take a record of this moment. I was like, I may never look this good again.
Nope.
So, if that's you, great job, guys. Great job. So, trail running, I think, is one of those things that, like a lot of things, when OCR things like it's very intimidating. I think that's one of the things when we first opened BC, we opened as an obstacle course gym. That was the goal. I was like, we're going to put up this outdoor obstacle course. People are going to come from miles away. It's going to be like, what's that movie? Field of Dreams.
Oh, like the mecca of OCR.
Yeah. Like they're going to come from New York just so they can train here, right? It's going to be a destination place so they can come do obstacle course racing. And like people that come to the gym and I'm like, hey, we should do an OCR race. Nope. I don't like mud, or oh yeah, I can't even do a pull up, something like that. I don't know. There people are like so scared.
Do they all turn really like podunky when they say pull up?
Well, it just depends on what part of New York or Texas they're
New
from.
York?
Yeah.
I know they're podunky in New York.
Oh, they are. You better believe it. It can be. So podunk is everywhere. It's not just in the South.
Okay.
There's a lot of podunk. But people are intimidated by it, and I don't know if they're worried they're going to fall. They're worried about they don't want to get dirty. I don't know. What do you think it is?
I think it's a little of both, but I think it's primarily like people are afraid of the falling, and I think the idea of falling from like an apparatus you're hanging off of makes you think you're really going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Because we know somebody who was very, very strong, and they kind of transitioned away from OCR because one of their biggest things they couldn't seem to really get over was the fear of hurting themselves and falling. Like the height seemed to kind of scare them.
Yeah. Maybe.
Sometimes people probably see the pictures and there's people jumping into the fire.
Yeah.
The fire that's now this big. It's like 6 inches tall.
Yeah, it's not that big.
It's not that big.
I mean, I remember when we started doing Spartan stuff. They had guys with freaking jousting sticks at the end of the race that you had to run through. You remember that?
That's cool.
That was I've seen videos of it.
I've never seen
You never
that.
had to do that?
I didn't start.
Yeah, they would have guys dressed up like Spartan soldiers,
That's
and
cool.
like 4 or 5 of them, and it was right. And so instead of the fire, you would have to run through them, and they would try to take you out, bro. It was intense. I have a picture. It was very masculine. It was extremely masculine. I ran through, and this dude went to hit me, and I'm like, I turned my head to the side. I'm closing my eyes, and I put my hands out in a very, very masculine way. It was not good. It was not good. And I looked at it. I was like, I really thought I was more testosterone than that.
Can this be found online anywhere?
Maybe. I'd have to look for it to find it, but
That'd be good to see.
yeah. Actually, I feel like the best photos I've ever had, and when I say best, I mean the most embarrassing, are from Spartan races.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
my worst race.
You're muddy, you're wet, you kind of look like a drowned rat half the time.
Yes.
It's like, well,
yeah, you come out of the water, and it's not like,
it's not sexy.
The Navy SEAL guy coming out of the water looking all intense, or the hot chick coming out of the water with the fling in her hair. You come out of the water,
you got maybe a stick in your hair.
yeah,
and
your
just like,
eyes all like caked in mud
over.
or something. So,
yes.
I saw a guy one time, and this probably doesn't help at all, people encouraging people to run on the trails, but I saw a guy one time. We were running, I think it was in Austin, and we were running through the woods, and it was pretty single track. So it was pretty tight. And like, we're moving at a good clip, right? So we're trying to race, and he was in front of me, and he was kind of holding me up. I wanted to get around him, but it was so tight I couldn't. And so maybe, I don't know if I was putting too much pressure on him, or he just wasn't paying attention. He tripped. And when he tripped, there was like a branch, and the branch just like stabbed him right in the top of his head. And he had like a shaved head, a bald head, right? And like, it like dug in. He stood up, wiped his head, flung the blood off, and just kept running.
That's a man.
That was a man's man. I mean, I passed him up, so I don't know if he died or whatever later on, but I saw a picture. I did see at the end of the thing. He was running the thing. I think he was so proud of him. He had like a blood stream like down his eye. It looked like so macho, like a man's man.
Did you lose a little breath?
I did. I shivered just a little bit. I did. I was like, man, if I'd have done that, I'd have been like, medic!
That's a lie. You kept going.
That's maybe true. Maybe. I do have a friend. I'm not going to call their name. They're going to know who I'm talking about. But we were doing a race one time. And while we're running this race, like we were together and we were moving at a pretty good clip. And then all of a sudden they just disappeared. And I don't know. I was like, we were doing an obstacle together, and then next thing I know, no obstacle, or no person. Like my buddy's gone. So I finished the race, and they were there at the finish line. I was like,
did they take the
I was like,
shortcut?
holy crud, dude! This fool passed me up, and I never saw him. And I was like, dude, you ran so fast. He's like, no. I was like, what happened? He's like, well, on the barbed wire crawl, I kind of got hung up in the barbed wire, and I got kind of snagged by the barbed wire. So I had them ride me back in. I went to the medical tent. I was like, what?
From like a little.
He's like,
scrape?
yeah, I didn't want to. He's like, it's so muddy and gross out here. I didn't want to get like tetanus or anything like that. I lost a little bit of respect for him at that moment, like just a little bit. I mean, we've grown together, and he's a man's man as well. But at that moment, I was like, really? I was like, huh? I was like, you're messing with me, right? He's like, no, man, it was pretty deep. It got me pretty deep. So I didn't see the cut.
I'd have taken a little cut off his man card.
I didn't see it at
Just a
all.
little snip.
But he was worried about getting tetanus.
I mean,
he's got a family to take care of.
I guess.
You know what? And, yeah, he might have done really well. But, I mean, do you want to get tetanus? Is that really something you want? Lockjaw?
No, I don't know. I guess there'd be other things that would concern me, but a little scrape with some dirt in it. I'm always like, my thing is like, rub some dirt, keep going.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think he was just worried about like the dirtiness of it all and getting an infection.
Fair, a lot of these courses are nowadays on like properties that have animals.
Sure.
So the mud is not straight mud usually. There's usually a little bit of manure mixed in. So in his defense, that actually probably is a valid concern.
Yeah.
That one Spartan was just northwest of Houston a few years.
Were they the cows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were crawling through that, like you said, it was not mud.
It was not mud.
No,
You
it
just
was
really had to keep your mouth closed.
You could smell it. It was gross. It was definitely gross.
Yeah.
So we're not doing anything to encourage people to run on the trails whatsoever.
I'm not even going to mention the bear situation.
Oh yeah, there was an obstacle. Did you see that one? There was a race like in somewhere up northeast, and in the middle of the race, they've got like the runners out there with the cameras because it was an elite event, and all of a sudden a black bear just comes running across the course right in front of the lead lady, she's running this way, and it just crosses right in front of her and just kept going into the woods.
Oh wow,
100%. I would have stopped in my tracks because at the way it looked like it was going for her, but it was just trying to cross the
100%
the
would
way.
have tried to hug the bear.
Yeah, no. I'd have been turning around. I would have been so fast, nobody would have caught me. So I'm like, dude, that guy's
It's like, does a bear poo in the woods? But James does.
Yeah.
I was like, medic, I need a change of shorts.
Exactly. So it's not like that usually, guys.
Especially not in Texas.
Especially not in Texas. And the trails usually that you're going to find are not going to be, they try, I think some races some are better than others. They try to like make things gross and make it hard because, it's only fun if you do hard things, right? Or uncomfortable things. So, but the good thing about if you're going to be doing trail running or OCR, obstacle course racing, you need to be out there running on the trails, right? Because you never know what you might encounter.
Yeah.
A black bear,
Yep.
a cow,
Cow.
or tetanus laced freaking barbed wire.
Yeah.
Can be snakes.
I was going to say, honestly, I'm surprised I haven't seen snakes, but I think they hear, like the snakes can feel the vibrations and they're hiding. I don't think that's going to be a big concern.
not in an OCR race. I mean, there's so many people.
Yeah.
And they're so
Those
afraid
things
of
are probably
people.
hiding.
Yeah. So, I know this is another tangent, but today I saw one of the coolest things ever. It made me so happy. I was running and I was trail running and came around a corner and I saw some like activity in the bushes, but it looked really big and really weird. And I didn't know what it was. So I stopped and I looked and there was a hawk just sitting on this little hill underneath the trees. And it was just staring at me. And I keep looking and all of a sudden it takes off flying and it had this snake.
Oh, whoa.
That was like, I'm telling you, it was like 5 foot long.
Oh,
and
wow.
it took off and it flew.
It had the snake in its claws?
Yeah.
Or its talons? That's cool.
And then it flew and then it dropped the snake. So then it had to come back. That snake was huge. And I was like, that bird is doing God's work out there. Doing God's work. I was like, that is definitely a freaking place for moccasins and freaking, it's like death in that little bush over there.
You just heard like a freedom song in the background.
Yeah, exactly right.
If it had been an eagle, it'd have been that much cooler.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Hawks are pretty cool.
They're pretty cool. Hawks are pretty cool. So I think if you're like a quote unquote hybrid athlete, right? I think you got to be the type of person that's willing to get off the beaten path, get onto the trails, because you're going to develop a lot of strength and a lot of durability. That honestly, I think, well, number one, it'll help prevent injuries, but I think also it helps prevent burnout.
Yes, I agree.
Especially during the summertime when it's so hot.
It's hot. Well, this is what I love about running trails in the summer. There's almost always, and I'm sure it depends on where you live, but there's almost always tree coverage. So it's shady.
Yeah, it's much cooler.
It's not like reflecting heat like the pavement is.
Yeah.
So take the trails.
Yeah, for sure. So, and if you're new to trails, it doesn't mean you have to like, dive off into the deep end. You can start pretty simple, find a local park or beginner friendly trail, and focus on time. Don't worry about pacing. That's what we talk about anyway.
Yeah.
When we're talking about, aerobic capacities. We're not worried about how fast we're running. We're worried about the effort.
Yeah.
And so, that effort can be really beneficial for building strength and confidence, and really help set you off, to a whole new stratosphere of fitness. I feel like every time I get back on the trails, I get so much stronger.
Absolutely. I think what you said about the pacing, learning on that effort is a whole kind of different way to kind of learn how to kind of pace yourself by the effort versus just staring at your watch.
Yeah.
With the pavement, you can keep a steady, pace, 10-minute miles, steady and know your effort level. But with the, undulation of the hills, or it could be more muddier, it's your pacing, vary by minutes.
Yeah.
It's still kind of pushing the same effort level.
Yeah. Well, I think too, it kind of helps your mentality, or maybe your focus is a better way to put it, because you have to pay attention when you're on the trails, right? You're
really
looking
do.
down at the trail, you're keeping your eyes because
You're listening.
number one, this time of year, every stick is a snake until it's proven wrong. And
every rustle is a predator.
yeah, exactly. It's either a homeless man or a bear. Yeah, I know we don't have bears down here, but it could be.
I feel like you're more concerned about homeless people in the trails than most people are.
I don't know if I told you, but
you have told us the story.
I was running in the woods, and I like to get off the beaten path.
Yeah,
I like to explore because you never know what you might find.
Well, you usually find the places for us to run.
Yeah. So I like to know exactly where it is I'm going to be. So if something happens and maybe we need to shorten the run or whatever, right? Or maybe it's just exploring and finding some new cool little thing, right? So I found this, what I thought was a trail, and it looked like it was an old trail that had been just a little grown over.
Yeah.
People had been using it. So I started running down there, and eventually it turned from what looked like to a trail to nothing. But I'm still going for it. I was like, I knew what direction I was going. So I knew if I kept going that direction, I would find another trail. And then all of a sudden I come to this big opening, and there was tents out there. And I was like, ruh-roh. And this homeless guy come out of the tent. He's like, hey. And I was like, oh. So I took off running because I was on his property. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. I didn't know if he was going to be, what he would do to me, right? If he was going to try to take me and keep me, what? So I kept running, and eventually I got out of there. So I've never gone back to that path again, that trail again. But you never know what you're going to find when you hear rustling in the woods.
That's very true.
Right? You might see Lauren pooping.
Okay, that has never happened, but not.
You're right. I apologize. If Lauren's going to use the bathroom on the trail, she's going to do it 1 to 2 feet off of the trail. She's not going to go into the woods. I apologize.
Lauren, okay, clarify. Lauren has never pooped. I have peed a lot because I drink a lot of water. But it just happens that we don't have good bushes.
No, we have plenty of bushes.
No.
But she seems to feel like it's okay to just do it on the trail.
I do
And then she's
not.
surprised when some dude comes running around going, oh, hey, how you doing?
Remember the time when I think you jumped out?
Oh, yeah. That was good stuff.
Man in the bushes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like off a tree, you just jumped out the side. And he, fight or flee kind of
Yeah,
I failed.
response. She did possum.
she did.
She fell right to the ground.
I failed.
She covered up the important bits right here. The important bits. The first thing people are going for. That's what she covered
I
up.
crossed my legs because I felt like that was another option.
Yeah.
I'm prepared for
man.
next time, though. I'm ready for the next one.
She's ready to go for the next time. She's
I'm
going to
ready.
take off running.
I'm gonna fight.
Well, today actually we were running and there was a snake in the trail. It was dead. It was like a little baby
Aw.
dead. Oh my god! What percentage of the population do you feel like you would say there was a dead snake on the trail and their response would be, "Oh"?
Poor dead snake.
What do you think?
2%.
2%? You think it's that
I'm
high?
glad to be part of 2%.
She's a 2%er.
I'm a 2%er.
She's top tier right there.
I am.
Top tier.
Poor snake. Anyway, continue about dead snake.
They didn't see the snake, and so I was like, "Hey, dead snake!" And they were very agile. I didn't realize they were that agile. They did like a little kind of bunny hop, whoo-ah! And then like kind of grabbed, like did this, and I was like, "What is that going to do?"
What's the snake gonna do up there?
How's that going to help? And they were like, "He's like, but did you see how quickly I jumped?" And I was like, and they kept moving. She would have stopped. She would have taken a moment.
I would have said.
She probably would have like
I'd
sang
have
some
buried him.
freaking said some words.
I'd have pushed him off the side, put a little sand over him, like rest in peace. Okay, bye.
And ended the circle of life because that could have been a meal for a bird or a hawk. Have you not
It's
heard?
already dead.
Have you? Yes.
Unless it's a vulture.
Okay. Is that not a bird?
That's true. Okay, you're fair enough. I did try to save a copperhead once. 'Cause
Why?
He was on the path. I'm like, I just want to get him off the path. So I got a big stick. And I was trying to scoot him. And I accidentally put too much gusto into the scoot. And I accidentally flung him. And I flung him like 20 feet.
That's not a bad thing. That's
And
a
you
good
just saw
thing.
a snake go.
And now that
there.
snake remembers you.
I know.
And next time he sees you,
Vengeance.
he is going to bite you. Yeah.
I know.
Badder and more vengeful.
More vengeful.
So I think none of this is encouraging. I sound like right now I'm thinking to myself, all these people are like, why would I want to run on the trail? None of this sounds good.
It's an adventure.
It is an adventure.
Well, if you live up on the north, like if you live like north, they don't have as many poisonous snakes, so you're good.
Yeah.
You're
Well, I mean,
totally
honestly,
fine.
how many snakes have we seen and how many times have you been bitten?
I've never been bitten.
Right? The closest anyone's been bitten is Lauren because every time we see a snake, she feels like it's necessary to engage with the snake. They are more afraid of you than you are of
That's
them,
so true.
and they want to get away from you. And so they're not, unless you actually like disturb them, they're
They're not gonna
probably
mess
not
with
going to
you.
mess with you. But when you constantly come over here and you're like trying to shush them, or not shush them, but like
Shoo 'em.
herd them away, shush, yeah, shoo them away. Yeah, you're probably going to get bit.
I did also try to rescue a baby copperhead. That was a feisty little creature. It was only like 5 inches long, and it was actually like
I wonder why.
trying to bite. And I was like, "Ooh, you are feisty."
It doesn't know your intentions, Lauren.
I don't know what I used, but I finally got something, and I kind of got it off to the side. No snake dead on my watch.
If anyone sees Lauren on the side of a trail,
Dead?
just
You know why.
snake
Yeah.
copperhead.
I promise it wasn't a vampire. If you see the 2 little holes in the side of her, it wasn't a vampire.
On my ankle.
Yes, exactly. It's ridiculous.
Sorry. I mean, if it's a spider, that spider's on his own.
Listen, guys, I know we're not painting a great picture. As the more I talk about this, the more I think about it. Trail running sucks. You shouldn't do it. Nobody should trail run ever. Stay off the trail.
Really discuss how we're going to paint this picture.
Listen,
before
guys,
we record.
we're kidding. It is fun. I will
love
say.
it.
So here's the deal. We could make a list of things right now on my hand. All right, we're going to do worst and best, and I bet you the good outweighs the bad. How much you want to bet?
Always. Yeah.
Okay, right now, 1 million. All right, bad. Go. Give me one bad thing about the trail.
Bad thing about the trail is it takes longer.
Takes longer. Okay, is that really that much bad? That bad though?
Well, it's not. What's up?
Oh, it's not even that high on the list. But okay, fine.
Okay,
Go,
so-
Lauren.
Mosquitoes.
Okay, mosquitoes. But
good
mosquitoes are everywhere.
Yeah, but when it's shaded and it's dampier, they're there. More. I think so.
When you're moving, I mean, mosquitoes are...
Okay, killed a deer fly.
Okay,
There's
I'll
mine.
give you that one.
Deer fly.
But that's only for like a month.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy
But deer
month.
fly
That's an
suck
insane month.
something
That's
awesome.
a reason to not trail run right there
Right
for
there.
1 month.
For the month of, what, is it June, basically?
Don't run on trails because those deer fly in Texas, they are coming for you. They want blood.
And they are vengeful.
A-holes.
Their one followed me one time for like 3 miles.
They're a-holes.
Yeah.
And nobody said anything. Like, y'all watched it following me, and nobody said, hey, James, you got this thing still following you.
The funniest thing about deer fly season, though, is because we all run in like a line, is you just have everybody with their hats or with like a shirt, and we're just like whacking
just
each other.
swinging. And
You were making a good pace. I mean, you were well ahead of it. So it was following you, but you were never in danger.
But the moment I stopped, it landed on me, and I got a scar for it for like a year, where that thing sucked on me. It hurt like a mug.
I'm going to claim I was in the back. So I don't know who was behind you. Might have been Tommy.
It's one of those things where it's like a sacrifice. You know, you sacrifice one for the good of the group.
That's it. We failed you. Okay,
Yeah, for
we
sure.
failed you. So.
Yeah. So I agree. Deer fly are top of the list, things that suck. I'm going to say snakes. Snakes suck. And, you know, you got to keep your eyes out for them. But that's it. I can't think of anything else.
Spider webs.
I saw a beautiful spider web one time, stopped, and it was humongous. It was crazy. It wasn't even on the trail. I stopped, took a picture of it. It was gorgeous.
I mean, I think they're beautiful when they're off the side, but when you got the ones that like the orb weavers that like to stretch in between branches and you run through it and you don't know where that spider is, that's
Yeah, but how
terrifying.
often are you in the front where you step through
That's
it?
right. I go to the back
Exactly.
for a reason.
But she's led us a few times.
How well did that work out for everybody?
Exactly. It was Huntsville. We let her run because she's like, yeah, I know these trails, guys.
Lillian, I lost a lot of points with Lillian.
I know these trails, guys. And I was like, the whole time I'm like, are you sure you know these trails? Because I think we're going on like a 12-mile run right now. And we're only supposed to do like 5.
We had a great time.
The confidence was there, though.
It was. It was.
Confidence.
Lillian was on edge.
She was not happy with
She
me.
was on edge. All right, so you can get lost.
Yeah.
But that's not always a bad thing.
I would say sometimes the footing can be really slippery.
Okay. So having the right gear will help.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I mean, that would be a bad thing. Like sometimes it rocks and they're a little bit muddy or wet. It can be a little, hazardous to fall.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've had, athletes before that wanted to start doing trail running and they went out on their own, right? And, they were like, yeah, I fell. And I think it's just because you get fatigued, and when you're on the road, everybody does it. You tend to drag your feet, or you don't pick them up as much, and you can't do that on the trails.
Yeah, I've twisted my ankle a couple times.
Yeah. So, but that's it. I mean, it's less than 5 things.
Yeah.
Right. It's going to make you stronger, more fit. It's cooler. It's honestly, I think it can be more fun.
No, absolutely. The environment, the change of the challenge of it, the focus of just calculating where your next footing is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Then you're in nature, so I mean, obviously when we're running outside, we're running in nature, but it's different when you're on the trail as opposed to when you're on like the pavement. You're actually in the woods. It's even here where it's not all the most beautiful scenery, it's still pretty nice when you're running the trails, right? It's still, you get some good scenery. I feel like you can enjoy the experience a little bit more, mainly because it is a slower pace and it is, more to look at, and you are more focused on what it is you're doing instead of, like most of the time you're just zoned out and going, right? Especially if you listen to music, you're just, half the time people will just zone out and run and they don't even know where they ran.
Yeah, just kind of just blanked out, just going.
Yep. So I think it definitely can help your performance and help your focus, which ultimately helps you be a better runner, I think, in my opinion.
That's a long list of good.
Yeah, and I can keep going.
I did have one more. I don't know if it's a good or a bad, but I would say sharing the trail sometimes can be a pain.
Why?
In terms of like sharing with cyclists, because I feel like if you have people who do not want to announce themselves around sharp corners and then you have a collision. I don't feel like it happens as often, but...
How many times have you had a collision?
I've had one once, but it was more like he fell off his bike and I kind of was able to sort of jump to the side.
So he didn't touch you?
No, he didn't actually hit
Then
me.
that would not be a collision.
Okay, so that's not a collision.
A wreck
Almost
by him.
collision. A wreck on
It
his
sounds like
end.
he wrecked. And it was
did.
your fault.
It scared me.
I think he wrecked and it was your fault.
I was saying runner.
Yeah, but bikers do have the right of way on the trail. Because
I can't see him, I don't know
it's
he's
it's
there.
easier for us to get out of the way than for them
No,
to stop.
but if you're a biker, you should still also announce yourself. Just like if I'm running runner, if I'm on a bike, if I'm on my mountain bike and I'm coming around a corner and I can't see it, I yell biker.
Yeah.
So if someone's coming up that corner, they know to move to the side. I'd have gladly stepped to the side. I didn't know he was there.
Sometimes you mentioned it earlier, I feel like, about the soapbox.
Oh, yes.
She gets on, there's certain things that she gets like, she's very passionate about.
biking?
And that's a big one for her.
I
feel
don't like people who are rude and just think that they can hog trails. I will shove a stick
What
in the
makes you
spokes of your
think that
bike.
that's what they're thinking? They're riding the trail and they're like, I'm hogging this trail. This is my trail.
Can I get one of those boxes? And
Yeah,
we can
so she
scoot
can sit
over
up on
and
it.
You can sit up on it.
On her pedestal.
Look.
I'm giving you the platform. I like it.
I forgot that she had said that about wanting to throw a tree into someone's spoke.
I've said it a couple times.
And that does not make that. How is
said
that
it.
equal?
I will save a snake, but if you're a jerk on a bike on the trail, and this is someone who has a mountain bike, I ride mountain bike trails, I will throw a tree branch in your spokes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like 80s action movie.
That
Yeah.
doesn't make any flipping sense.
You just got to be respectful. Announce yourself.
It sounds like you're not being respectful.
I will
How
gladly
come
move
they
out
have
of
to be
your
respectful
way.
but you don't have to be?
I will gladly move out of your way, but you got to announce yourself. And
But what? So are you? So a lot of these trails nowadays, a lot of the mountain biking trails, even over here, they actually have signs, and the sign says one way. And so you're supposed to go one way and not the other way. And most runners, when they go out there, because let's be honest, runners always think they have the right of way, and wherever they're going, it's theirs. And so they don't ever pay attention to the sign in your face that says wrong way or don't go this way. Did you make sure you were going the right way?
usually, yes. 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 I always do, because again, I don't want to be the jerk.
Okay.
I am saying this with confidence because I know it's true.
Well, the fact that she says it with confidence, that right there tells me all I need to know.
Don't get a stick in your spoke, guys.
Yeah. Make sure that you're never wrong and that you do everything
Just
right. Because
be
if not.
polite. Share the road. Announce yourself. That is for runners and that is for cyclists.
Okay.
Share the space.
Next time we run on the
Be
trail
aware.
and you don't call and announce
I
yourself,
always do.
I'm going to be like,
'Cause
get
I
a
don't wanna
stick.
Get hit.
Get a stick.
So what would be the equivalent, since you're not on a bike, what would be the equivalent to like,
Them clotheslining me with a stick.
okay. So the stick would still be involved somehow.
Or their arm. They could probably more use their arm.
Yeah.
And just like.
I don't know. I mean, most of the time, and I get what you're saying. I do. I understand. Like, you should be vocal, right?
You
should
should
be
be
like,
vocal.
runner coming, cyclist coming,
Yes, that's all I'm
you're going to
asking.
move, that should be. But I mean, sometimes you're riding, you're not paying attention, you're into it, or, maybe you're new to it and you don't know the etiquette.
That's
I'm assuming a
unfortunate.
lot of people don't know
That's
that.
possible.
But one thing for any new runners, make sure you're not wearing headphones out there.
Yeah.
I was also thinking, I always turn my headphones off.
I'm just saying, just like
That's true.
you can't
No, you
hear because
should.
a lot of people
You need to
will
turn your headphones
holler
off.
if you have headphones on.
Yeah, you
100%
shouldn't. I
agree.
mean, you really shouldn't wear red headphones if you're running on the road either, because you can't hear
True.
what's going around you. But definitely on the trails, you shouldn't.
Totally agree.
Because then you can't hear what's coming up behind you, or maybe what's in front of you. So somebody may be saying something you not hear it.
Yep.
So
Lauren could be there with a stick.
she could be hiding in the woods.
Why would I be hiding with a stick? I don't want to take you out with a stick.
It sounds like you do, though.
I'm going to if you're a jerk.
Okay.
That sounds like if you're a jerk, watch out.
Watch
Lauren is
out. I'm
out
a
for you.
vigilante. I'm a person who's looking to come for you.
She's on the edge, guys.
Lauren Charles Bronson.
Yeah. Charlie Bronson, Lauren. That's it.
I'm really nice, guys. I swear. I'm super sweet.
If you're a copperhead.
Yeah.
If you're a snake, you're doing great. If you're an animal, any kind of animal, venomous or not, you're fine.
You know what I find interesting is
You're
we're
a
talking
person,
about this
maybe.
guy that's out there trying to ride his bike, trying to get some fitness. He doesn't realize there's going to be people running on a bike trail. As far as he knows, he's new to the game. He just got his bike. He doesn't even know how to change the tires. He's just out there riding, trying to have a good time. He doesn't know there's going to be some random chick on the trail running toward him, going the wrong direction. And he's riding, just having fun. And here comes Lauren, CBL, Charles Bronson Lauren coming through. And, with a stick, like freaking sabotaging this guy. And because he's a jerk, because he's intentionally doing this. And I think that,
Y'all make it sound like I'm setting booby traps for people.
I'm sure that's how like John Wick 2 started. Very similar.
Oh, man. Call me John Wick of the trails. That's great.
yeah. But however, a copperhead who intentionally wants to murder you.
No, it doesn't. It wants to protect itself.
So when the copperhead does it, it's protection.
Yes.
Oh my God.
There's a very small percentage of people listening that are on my side.
One person. There's not a percentage of people. There's one person.
I know Danny's on my side.
Like I said, one person. That's it.
If we did poll, it's probably down to 1%
Yeah, it's way down, way down. So, yeah. So, I think this is a great time of year to do it. And now through pretty much, I mean, honestly, it's always a good time to run on the trails. I just think a lot of times you get off the trails because it can slow your cadence down a little bit, and not change your running form, but because you're running slower, it can mess with you, do some stuff to your running cadence. So when you're getting back onto the, if you're doing like a marathon or a half marathon that's going to be on the road, or if you're going to be, running, HYROX or something like that, the closer you get to your event, right, you're probably going to want to spend less time on it. But like this is a perfect time. I always tell people, like at the end of a training season, that's the time to, kind of go back to the drawing board, develop new fitness, and, add things that you may be interested in, right? Experiment with some stuff, because if you do, you may find something you really, really like. I mean, HYROX is a perfect example, right? We started, I want to say, I went and watched you guys race in Austin, and that was, what time of year was that? Was that sometime like around this time?
It was in May.
It was in May? Mm-hmm. So I think it was kind of between, we were doing obstacle courses and stuff like that. It was like in between a few races, but we had some time.
That was, things were just opening up. Remember,
and things were opening right back up.
Races were coming back.
Yep.
And I think we did a Spartan.
Wasn't it? Yeah, it was like right after the San Antonio Spartan, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I think actually what ended up happening is it was right after we had done the habanero, because that was the only other race that had happened because nothing else was happening.
Yes.
So we did that habanero,
Yeah.
or they call it the jalapeno because it was later in the year.
Yes.
Right. And they got us.
They got us.
They got us. They tricked us because we thought, oh, this is going to be a fun race now from every year.
Yeah.
Not so much. But yeah, I think there wasn't a lot going on. And I think the next race we were going to do was the Savage race, which wasn't going until like October or something.
Yeah.
Right. So we were trying something new because it was open and available. It was off season. And then look what happened. You fell in love with it.
That's it.
Right. So you never know. You may get out there on the trail and you may fall in love with it. And you may never want to do anything but trail run for the rest of your life.
I mean, I'm jonesing to get back out there. I haven't been on the trails in several months. So
Yeah.
I'm ready to get back.
Yeah. I think there's especially, we've taken some trips up to like Huntsville to go and run. And I love, I had to go to San Francisco for a business trip a couple years ago. And while I was there, I went and saw the Golden Gate Bridge. And while I was up there looking at the Golden Gate Bridge, I was looking and I saw all these trails. And I was like foaming at the mouth. So, I was like, I got to get my shoes. I'm coming back over here. And it was such a great way to kind of really experience the area. And of course, their wilderness, as it were. And it was so pretty, and it was cool to see so many things. I think my wife and I took a trip to Portland one time, and while we were up there, we went to go see this really popular falls. And there were so many great running trails and hiking trails that we spent a lot of time on, glaciers that were up there. And you miss that if you don't get out there on on those dirt trails.
Oh, no. I've had some of my most favorite runs out in Colorado.
Oh, yeah. Colorado's great.
Parks and Wyoming, how you go into the mountains out there.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of you look forward to those kind of runs.
Yeah.
The scenic, elevation change. It's those are just fun runs.
They are.
It's kind of like a 6-mile run. That's almost like an adventure.
It is, right? And honestly, it takes longer, but it doesn't seem like it does. It does seem to go by faster. And then, I don't know, sometimes I dig this. I mean, I like to run with a group because I like to talk, and I like for us to kind of develop those relationships and stuff like that. But there's just something about getting out on the trail when you're by yourself, and just that it's quiet, even though there's, nature sounds.
One with nature.
Yeah, right. There's just a quietness about it that really helps relax you a little bit, right? And helps really enjoy the adventure, I guess. I mean, I don't know. As we get older, I think people lose that sense of adventure. I think people get so inundated with work and responsibilities and all the stuff they have to do that they lose the sense of that exploration and trying new things, and just having being able to enjoy the moment. And running, I think, really helps that. Fitness helps that a lot. But I think that's one of the things I love most about running on the trails is that it does feel like a little bit of an escape and a little bit of an adventure. I always think of I'm a Goonie.
Heading out looking for the treasure.
That's it. I'm looking for a treasure, and you never know what you may find.
Yeah.
I was running Memorial Park last year, and they have some pretty decent trails over there behind the running center. And I usually always took this one path, and I was like, you know what? I got a little extra time today. I'm going to take this other path and just see what happens. So I turned, and I kept turning, and I kept turning, and I kept seeing, like, finding new parts of the trail. And then I came up to the top of this hill, and there was like this concrete building that was in the middle of the woods in Memorial Park. And like, I don't know what it used to be. I mean, it had like a concrete bench inside of it. It had like two doors, like an entrance and an exit door. And it was maybe 10 by 10 feet. It wasn't even that big. And I have no idea what it was. It was, I don't know. It was like finding, I was like an archaeologist. I was like freaking Indiana Jones, bro. I don't think that's the first time anybody's seen that in 1,000 years. It's like the biggest archaeological find of the century.
You did it.
I did it. I found it. I could probably never find it again, but I found it. And I was like, I don't know why, like, it was exciting to me. I was like, this is cool. What is this? How long has this been here? I mean, it's probably only been there like a couple of years, but it was really neat, I think, seeing those kind of things. And because you never know. I mean, like at one point in time, this was all woods where we're at right now. But those woods at one time might have been something else, and those trees have just grown up over the last 100 years, so terrain changes, stuff changes. There's no telling what you might find. Secret City. Yeah, it could be Find Atlantis.
You could find a homeless camp.
I cannot tell you how many homeless camps I've found. It's a good time.
Yep, depends on where you're at.
Yep.
I did a trail run one time, and I came across a dead horse.
Really?
That's a very specific thing to find on a
It
trail.
was very terrifying.
Was this in like Wyoming or Colorado or something?
It was in Wyoming.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yes, it was just kind of randomly just half decayed.
Oh.
Yeah, it was pretty gross. I mean, you could smell it.
I was going to ask if you could smell it before you got to it.
And then I came around the bend, and there it was kind of a little bit shocking.
Yeah. That's not a small animal to see decaying. That's a lot.
That was a lot.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times we've ran. I mean, most time when I run in the morning on the trails, I see the deer.
I see the deer.
Yeah.
Pretty
The deer,
often.
they're out there frolicking about, especially on that cool, crisp fall morning. And I mean, they're so like majestic and beautiful. I can't tell you how many times I've walked up to them to try to hug them, or just like be one with them. And they kind of give you that look, and they look like they want to come hang out with you. And then they take off running. I've tried to sneak up on them several times.
Yeah, I have a video of you doing that.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't really that sneaky.
It was not sneaky at all. You're waving your arms like a Goonie character.
That's it. I was doing the truffle shovel.
Yeah, all the way up.
That's it. So, but yeah, I mean, I honestly do feel like getting out there, it's just new stimulus, right? And anytime you can create new stimulus, progressive overload, it's going to create new fitness, and it's going to make you better. That's what I'm all about.
Win-win.
It's win-win. So let us know, guys. Do you like to trail run? Do you like getting out there? Do you like to go and explore? Are you like me? Are you feel yourself like a Goonie to the day you die? Because Goonies never die, actually. They never say die. So if you are like that, let us know down in the comments below. Get on the old Instagram, get on the old YouTube, and let us know below. And I was actually listening to a podcast the other day, and they said something that really stood out to me. They said this. They said, if you really want to be a supporter of our amazing community, what you'll do is you'll go to Spotify and you'll go to Apple Podcasts, and you'll go down and you'll review and comment, because that helps the show out. And I didn't realize how much it helped the show out. And so I was really taken back. They were kind of giving me some information, not me particularly. They were just saying it on their podcast. And I was like, we should ask our listeners to do the same thing. Because I mean, we have such great listeners. I feel like that if we ask them to do that, they'd go do it. What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah. So
Give us your feedback.
Give us your feedback. We want to know, do you like the show? Put a 4-star or 5-star review on there. And then if you don't like it, tell us in the comment that you don't like it and say, hey, I reviewed 5 stars, but I can't stand this show, and here's how you can fix it.
Definitely let us know if you think Lauren was in the right or the wrong on
Yeah.
the bike trail incident.
Yes. Like, is she being unreasonable, right? Or is she being the right amount of reasonable by basically killing
I
someone?
haven't actually put a stick in a spoke. It's just a threat I'm letting people know is an option.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Well, the
just-
way you say it makes it sound like it's
It's never happened yet, but I'm just saying I'm willing.
Why do you keep winking? It hasn't happened.
I haven't winked. You stop lying to people.
Wink twice.
That's
She was
called- that's called
blinking. That was
That's
blinking,
called
bro.
blinking.
She winked twice. It hasn't happened. So
Okay.
infer what you want on that.
Okay.
2 winks is a blink.
I'm on
If it
her
happens
side.
with both eyes, it's called a blink.
Yeah, I'm on her side. So just let us know, guys. We would love for you to be a part of that. And then check out the YouTubes always for shoe review videos and tips and tricks. I'm sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I was just thinking back to all the tips and tricks you're going to be getting in Switzerland or Sweden or wherever it is you're going.
I'm not
It made me laugh.
going anywhere.
The first thing, you'll be getting tips and tricks. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're making it way more inappropriate than it is.
I shouldn't be allowed to talk. I know that.
Way funny.
Me too. I too. Because the way they probably said it, honestly, was probably very much so like I'm hitting on you, and she was like not picking up what they were putting down. That's the way I envision it.
Of course I'm not picking anything up because they're married.
You're right. You're correct. There's never been one married person that's ever done anything they shouldn't have done. My bad. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to give it my time if that's the case. But
I'm not saying you should give it your time. I'm just saying, just pay attention.
I was paying attention. There was nothing happening other than saying, if you want to like know what to do in Switzerland or Sweden, you should tell me.
Comment down below, guys. Let us know if someone offers you tips and tricks in Switzerland.
Stay with him.
I didn't say that. I said if someone offers you tips and tricks in Switzerland, what does that mean? Sweden. I apologize. I thought you just said Switzerland.
I did an accident, and then I refixed it.
So you're correcting yourself, not me.
I corrected myself. I said Switzerland. I mean Sweden.
Okay. So if someone offers you tips and tricks in Sweden.
Yes.
It's Sweden.
Is it like just an open-ended, I'm being friendly because Swedish people are just super friendly?
Super friendly.
Or are they trying to give you...
Don't comment, guys. Don't comment. Don't do it.
It's because you're scared now.
Yeah, because what's the percentage of our listeners you said are men?
I don't know. I haven't looked recently.
Okay, last time you checked, you said it was pretty high, right?
Like 65%, yeah.
Okay, yeah. If it's a bunch of guys that are anything like you two,
I feel the listeners are going to be just straight about the facts.
Yeah.
And they're going to just think about it and then give a
I think that should be a better tale of the truth because they're 65% are men. So if they know what that means.
It was a professional work setting.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Work and married people, nothing has ever happened.
Nobody's ever done anything they shouldn't do on their job. That's right. Yeah. There's never been like, have you seen that video where the guy introduces his wife to his work wife?
No.
You ever seen that?
No.
He's like,
Sounds terrible.
he's like, hey babe, here's my work wife. And she's like, oh yeah. It's nice to meet you. And she leans in, they give each other a kiss. And the wife is like, what's going on? She's like, what do you mean? What's going on? And she's like, you just kissed her. He's like, well, she's my work wife. Of course I kissed her. And it just keeps going. And then all of a sudden, he was like, I told you we got married last year or something. I told you my work wife and I got married. And she's like, I thought that was a joke. He's like, why would you think I was joking? I was very serious about it. And we went on a honeymoon right after that.
It's like an SNL skit.
It was like, no, it was like a British skit.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, we went to like the Cayman Islands. She's like, I thought that was a work trip. It's like, no, it was my work wife and I's honeymoon. And then this little kid comes running up and like, Daddy! And like he picks the kid up and she's like, who is this? This is my work son.
Oh my gosh.
Just kept getting worse and worse. Don't get a work family.
No work wives, people.
No work
husbands.
families.
Negative.
Yeah, do not do that. I've never liked it when people said that. Like, oh, this is my work wife.
I always think it's kind of weird.
I think so too.
I think it's a little weird.
You get one wife.
Yeah.
Unless you are in the Middle East or you're Mormon, you only get one wife.
Technically, my work wife and wife are the same.
Same one. Yeah,
that's
mine
true
too.
for you.
Mine too. My work wife is my wife and my boss.
You better watch yourself.
Why do I need to watch
She's
myself?
your boss.
I do what I'm told to do. I follow instructions. I follow authority.
That's the reason why I've been married so long.
That's exactly right. I know how to salute and say, yes'm. Whatever you like, ma'am. That's how I say it. Actually, I told her the other day, I was like, taking a piss now, boss. And she said, go ahead. And I was like, thanks, boss. I told her I was tired, too, the other day. I was like, I'm tired, boss. Real tired, boss. She said, get back to work.
Back to work.
Get back to work. You can take a break when you're dead. So she's a hard taskmaster, but I love her. I love her because she doesn't give me any other choice. So it's good times.
Marriage sounds fun.
It is fun, actually. It's a lot of fun. So, all right, guys, thanks for coming in today. I hope we have not turned you off from anything. This podcast, running on the trails.
I don't know how we have followers sometimes the way we go.
It's not your fault.
I know it's not.
It's not your fault.
Accepting blame.
It's not your fault. It would be my fault 100%, whether we have them or don't. Because there's a very small demographic of people out there that are like, this guy's a little insane. I like the cut of his jib. I don't know what he's going to say. Isn't that what I said the other day? I was like, what was that you? Where were we at? I think it was, where was it in Atlanta? And I was like, I'm almost to that point now. I've almost made it where like, because there's like those older people and they say just crazy stuff, and you're like, and you're just like, oh, that's just Jim.
Yeah,
that's just how Jim is.
Jim's just an old guy set in his ways.
Yeah, he's just set in his ways. I feel like I'm like right on the edge. I'm so close to being there. People are like, oh, that's just James. That's just James. Don't worry. He doesn't mean anything by it. It's just James. He's really a nice guy. But yeah. Sometimes, it's just James.
Sometimes he says stuff that's offensive, and we just bat it off. We just
exactly.
Crazy grandma just sitting there.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like
I'm almost a crazy grandpa level. I'm working toward there. So that's what you're going to be getting, guys. More and more of that. Unhinged straight
Eventually,
talk.
I'm going to start to sound like the normal one. That's a stretch.
I mean,
Carlos is going to feel like the normal one.
Normal
I'm
is
gonna
a
still be
spectrum.
here.
I feel like.
I did a video of my dogs running on the trail the other day. It was kind of behind the ditch, and there was a puddle, and Jane was jumping in the puddle, and I didn't realize I had all of a sudden turned into like a hillbilly Joe Dirt. I was like, "Don't you get on in there? Get on out!" I started just kind of going through my videos on my phone. I played it, and she jumped in the water. And I was like, "That's me." I was like, when did I turn into Joe Dirt? So,
man,
it's happening. That old age.
That's so funny.
I was embarrassed, but it was funny.
Yeah.
Sometimes you guys just laugh at yourself.
Yeah, the other day, I was in class. I was telling Debbie this yesterday in class, and we were finishing the workout. We were doing abs, and so I'd taken that mat and it was folded up, and so I was going to sit on the mat. And when I would do the demonstration, I'd just lay on the mat and do it. And so instead of laying on it long ways, I was sitting on it sideways. And so I was telling them, okay, do this, do this, do this. And then I was like, all right, now we're going to do, I forgot, like V-ups or something. So I laid back to give them a demonstration. And, I'm like 8 inches off the ground. And so I rolled back, and there was no mat behind me. And my feet rolled up in the air. I basically rolled backwards onto the ground like a moron. I started laughing immediately. They were cracking up. They thought it was the best thing since sliced bread. They were having a good time. And I'm just laying on my back like, you dipstick. How in the world did you just do this? And I'm just cracking up. And they're like, are you okay? I was like, yeah.
I think I can confirm Gabby came gleefully back with the report.
Oh, did she tell the story?
It sounds, she said James fell back. His legs up in the air.
Yes, it was a thing to behold.
Like a pack of hyenas.
You're right, because she was like, I wish I had my camera. I was like, thanks, girl. Thanks. So, all right, guys. Well, that's all we have. We're just rambling now. Appreciate you coming in. As always, if you have the ability, please go to our Patreon. You can check out patreon.com/runningwithjames if you want to be a supporter of the show, get some extra content. And then, as always, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And please, if you would, like we said, rate the show. We are just, 2 weeks away from our Building Champions HYROX Strong event. The event sold out, guys.
I know.
It's sold out.
That's exciting.
But I'm amazing. I'm an amazing guy. I'm a man of the people. We're opening 15 spots today.
Wow.
And so understand this. When those 15 spots are gone, there will be no more.
James
so,
is not that nice.
Is this like the Rolling Stones tour? They're going to
Keep going.
No.
Yeah, it's
It
like
even
Elton
literally
John
says
retiring for the
final
time.
chance there will be no more.
Okay.
Because we always want to make sure that we put on a great event, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to make sure we can be smooth, and maybe next time we do it we'll have more spots, but for this one we're going to be capping it. So after those 15 there will be no more. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure if you want to sign up. Somebody texted me or messaged me the other day as well, and they were like, hey, what's it going to cost for spectators or the people who can come and spectate? And this is how amazing I am as well. It's free to spectate. If you want to come spectate, come check it out, guys. We'll have it set up where you can watch
Man of the people.
the entire competition. And it's fun to compete, but it's also fun to watch.
Yeah.
Because there's some good competition, and it's a fun little race. So
I would also like to throw in that if you are out there and you have a small business or something and you want to be involved and you want to maybe partner with us for this event.
Yep.
We are accepting partners, brand partners. If you want to come up, set a booth out, meet the community if you're local. We are accepting swag gifts. We want to do some fun giveaways. So we are accepting donations. We are accepting partnerships, all the things. You can reach out to me then at lauren@mybcfit.com.
that's it. So we will have some cool little prizes. So we'll have some awards for first, second, third. And
Both male and female.
yes, both male and female, because we'll have different competitions, right? We're gonna make sure that the ladies get their chance to shine, and as always, ladies will be first, and then the guys will be just bringing up the rear.
Man of the people.
Man of the people. That's what I do. Oh my God.
No more side stories.
I'm about to cut this out, but I got to say it. I'm sorry. I'm just immediately thought of that dude that wants to take her to Sweden.
A few moments later.
Oh my God. I got to make sure I block that out for sure. But I just needed to get it out. I needed to get it out. It was inside me deep.
That should have been something like on a high level of Patreon. That should be on the Patreon. That should be like a high level.
Yeah, for sure.
Thing on Patreon.
So if you missed what I just said,
Premium
guys,
gold. Patreon only.
yeah. So I apologize for that digression. So we're going to move
apologize
on.
to me for saying it. I did not. No, I'm not high five. No, because it's all at my expense.
How's it at your expense?
Because I tried to tell y'all a nice little work story, and y'all have turned it dirty.
We didn't turn anything dirty. We just interpreted what you didn't see.
We're trying to guide you.
Yeah, here's the deal. You're very, I don't want to say gullible, but you're very, not gullible. I said I don't want to say gullible, but you're very, not even trusting. No, not trusting. Because she's not very trusting. Something in between. What would be in between gullible and trusting? Naive. That's the word I was looking for. You're very naive.
I would rather be trusting.
No. You're very naive. And so you don't necessarily see when people are doing something a certain way because you have a sweetheart, right? You want to be sweet. You think everybody else is sweet, and that's not true. So
Wait, it's not true. Okay, yeah. I thought unless I'm putting sticks in your spokes.
Well, yeah. I don't think you would never do that too. You say a lot. You talk a big game.
I do.
But did you see that video I sent you the other day?
Which one?
Of the MMA guy and the MMA girl?
I haven't seen
And she
anything.
was locked on his arm and he just stood up and was holding her to the side.
Yes, I did see that one. You're right. That brought back a lot of memories.
So, so you're just too nice. You're a very nice person and there's nothing wrong with that. It's good to be
Yeah.
nice. We need more nice people in this world.
Yeah.
100%.
We need more nice people
I'm
in
like
this
a
world.
Sour Patch Kid. I want people to think I'm sour and tart, but I'm just a gummy little sweetheart.
Why would you want people to think you're
I
something
want
you're
people to
not?
think I'm hard.
Why?
I don't know.
Like I said, we need more nice people in this world. So you should let people think that you're a nice person.
I am a nice person.
Yeah. So stop trying to be something you're not. It's okay.
Okay.
I'm not a nice person. You don't see me trying to be nice.
We had Gentle James.
You know what I'm saying? I tried to be Gentle James and it ruined it for everybody. It just went worse.
Everyone complained.
Be who you are.
No one trusted it was actually the problem.
Yeah,
They
I think
all
that was
thought
what it
something
was.
really wrong.
That's exactly right. So, you know what? Don't try to be something you're not, people. Be what God made you. Accept it. Be the best version you can be. Right? So if you're nice, be nice. It's okay to be nice. Don't try to be something you're not.
Okay.
All right, guys. So thank you for coming in today. That was all cut out. We're not going to leave that in there.
None of that's gonna get
so
Get my high five though.
he got
your high five.
That's right. So
I'm nice.
we will catch you guys next week. Thanks again for coming in, and hopefully we will see you at the Building Champions HYROX Strong event
Whoop, whoop.
on May 24th.
Yep.
All right, guys. Peace out. Remember, when you change your mind,
You change your life.
Bye.
Bye.